Hello everybody, and welcome back to another 8:30 RPG video. Today we'll be continuing our Misfortune campaign. I'm definitely worn out from work, so I'm not going to be able to do like a full hour, probably a half an hour. There's definitely a moment I want to get through. I'm really eager to see how it resolves itself in the story, so let's go ahead and jump into our notes here. It's been a few days, so to me, I feel rusty, even though it's just been, again, it's only been a few days for me. Um, Basically, we were at this door on our way out of the temple, Legion, and our characters, we are with the royalists at the moment, two of them, and we approach this door that, let's see if we can retrace our steps here. They stop, turn around, they look, and then it's the the big door, so that all right, we see the big door's locked. I try my key, the door unlocks. Something happens, not a trap. We heard the noise the moment the key unlocked the door, and it sounds like moving armor. So, most likely there's someone behind the door, and I wrote a note for myself saying, is it a cultist? I don't think so. Alright, so for this episode, we are going to use, once again, we are remaining, until we leave the temple, I'm still using Swords and Sorcery, the one-page RPG rules, which is free to online to find on itch. It's great little. It's a fun little one-page RPG to use for quick little sessions. Obviously, I've been using it for almost 10 episodes now. I think like 5 or 6 plus episodes at this point. But once we get out of the temple, this campaign, if I deem it fit, will turn into a long camp. Which this is a long campaign, but will turn into a much longer, months on end. And at that point, I'll have to go to a system that can handle leveling up, etc. So D&D or a another engine like World of Dungeons, which has a leveling system. So, but for this episode specifically, we'll be using one-page solo engine, which we haven't used in a while. Now, I want to know who's behind that door. So, a couple of things here. I can see how our two comrades react to the noise of armor if they hear it. Most likely their attention is one of them most likely is paying attention to our back, and then the other is looking at the door with me. So I'm going to assume that at least one of them hears the rattling of armor, the clanking sounds of armor. So I'm guessing that from Bregler's point of view, my character is looking at the door and hears this noise and thinks that it could be either an enemy or someone else. So let's go ahead and we know we unlocked the door. So we're going to open the door quickly with weapons drawn. So open the door quickly, weapons at the ready. I'm saying this is for everybody involved. Okay, now we have to figure out what Oracle to ask the next question. I think the detail is probably going to be good. The detail focus. We know there's someone behind the door, so we don't have to ask the Oracle if there is someone behind the door. At this point in the story, I'm already assuming there is. So what do we encounter behind the door? Old. It is someone old. Now, okay. It is someone old. And is this person going to be a cultist or an ally? Oh, you know what? I know exactly who this is. I believe. Are we near the outside? So let's do likely. Are we close to the outside of the temple? No, and, okay, which this was very unexpected. We are not at the We are not at an entrance or an exit of the temple. We are not outside yet. The and is has to be something that is against us. There's another path to take. It appears it's basically just, it's a tunnel. So it's a tunnel. But again, there is someone there old. I believe it is the Watcher. Is it the Watcher? Let's ask the question. Or the yes, the Watcher. Is it the Watcher? Yes, it is. I thought so. Old, I'm thinking Watcher. Okay. So the Watcher is standing in front of us. He is most likely holding something because the rattling sound, it's not, we can probably figure out what it is. Let's see. Let's see. Plot hook. Let's do what is his reaction to seeing us? I doubt he was aware that he'll run into us. Maybe he thought he could enter through the back. Protect. Interesting. Oh, I think he's there. He's protecting himself, possibly, or he's protecting us. Or he was there to basically be backup. I believe what makes sense here. I think that the Watcher, knowing his past, is, well, he's been helpful to us. I think that I should lower my microphone a bit. So I'm seeing a spike on my meter here. There we go. Hopefully that's a little better for you guys. And I believe the Watcher, judging from past moments and characteristics, he is there to help us. And I think he is there to protect us. I'm just going to say that. He is there to protect us. Was hoping to find us using a secret passage, which led him here. So he basically tells us that he knew of a secret passage to find us that is outside of the spell that restricts him from entering this temple, of this holy place, basically. And so, what is he holding? That's what I'm curious. I want to figure out what he's holding. Let's do, I think we'll do generic for this. What is he holding? Because, and remember, we have the spear. Trying to zoom in here, which does not work. Okay. There we go. Hopefully that works for you guys. I think 150 should be good. That's generally what I did. There we go. Okay, 150 for the character sheet, and then 150. It looks like everything kind of adjusted with that zoom. So, and I forgot to mention this we are on episode 30 officially, so we've hit the big 3-0. So he is holding something because we heard rattling sounds. So I want to know what it is. Okay, what it does. So whatever he's holding, it moves. How it looks, it's unique, and it's a very extraordinary looking item. So I believe it's an item. I'm going to say it's an item. And I'm thinking that it's going to be, let's see. Watcher is holding a, if it's made of a material, a certain metal. Oh, you know what? He's holding a lantern. But the lantern he's holding is it's unique. It's spellbound. So the lantern he's holding, he enchanted it to probably a protection spell of sorts. So let me look at this list and really click on swords and sorcery. Nothing really. Friendship, minor illusion. I'm just thinking, illuminate. I think he's just holding a lantern that not only is it a flame, but it kind of gives off a protective spell. So he's holding a lantern. It's a large lantern. that is uh how do you enchanted with a protection spell of sorts. So again, he's not a fighter. He's more of a explorer, a sage essentially, and willing to protect those who are obviously on the side of good at this point. I did mention he was a neutral character much earlier in this campaign, but I believe he's kind of changed characters. He's kind of adjusted uh, to this new role. So I like that. Yeah, a lantern with a protection spell. That does make sense to me. That's why I always like using this little oracle system here. So we see that, and I'm glad to see him. I'd say we are glad to see him. I tell him that the key has been working quite well. Well, for me, I'll say for me, the key has been a charm, I should say. And with the key being a charm, I believe this will reveal something about the key. So, what does he reveal about the key? I think there's more to this key. Obviously, it's a plot arc. Ooh, that's very good. So the key is this is a plot arc for the key. I think it's time to close off this whole key thing because we've been we've been talking about it for episodes for many episodes now, and the key has to be closed off. I think it's pretty much. Here's what I'm thinking: the Watcher used to be the prior overseer of the Temple Legion, and the key was his. It's like a master key. It kind of unlocks a lot of the doors, the passages of the Legion. So here's what happens. The Watcher explains that he used to be the previous overseer of the temple. The key belonged. The key is his, and it was created, or he crafted it. He crafted it to unlock all the doors in the temple, as far as we can tell. I don't recall if we failed to unlock certain doors, but that is a very interesting plot arc. I think we're going to go to characters here. We're going to go to the Watcher, and the Watcher used to be the previous prior overseer of the temple. Now, there's a lot to that. Obviously, we want to know about his history. Why was he part of the Legion? Was he just the guardian of sorts? Was he a neutral party? He was a protector of the spirit of the stone dragon, which is obviously destroyed now. Um, One big plot hole of all this, from my again, this is all experimental with me, so I'm learning as I go. I've abandoned it at this point, but the dragon, the stone dragon, just destroyed itself, crashed into the church, destroyed Gruith, and it destroyed the heart of itself. That has been rectified, or I'm sorry, that has been left in the dust. Basically, that whole concept of the dragon, I believe that it's just pretty much it's just sealed at this point. It's the dragon spirit is gone, and we defeated it with this. We've defeated it by killing off Dervish and company. So at that point, the spirit is gone and doesn't and no longer has a presence in this world. So that's how I'm kind of closing that little loop, that little story. So quest, uh, Watcher was the overseer, prior overseer of the elite Temple Legion. His key, the key was his. Okay, I'll leave it at that. That's a quest update. So yeah, I think that's I like that. It really works. Okay, great. So I love how this is going. I got 15 more minutes on my own little time limit here this episode. Okay. Well, does anything happen around us while we're chatting? Let's see. Pacing move. Let's do pacing move. Foreshadowing trouble. Okay. Well, perhaps there is somebody down the tunnel coming towards us that followed the Watcher in, perhaps. I'm gonna say yes on that one. Okay. We the Watcher has a feeling that he was followed behind him through this passage. So again, this door led to a passage that most likely goes towards the outside, but we were not at that outside based on the roll, based on the oracle. Okay, we all face the passage. Now, what do we see anything? I'm going to say even on this one. Do we see anything behind the Watcher? Yes, but okay, it's far away, so we see shadows. Okay, we do see something, some shadows in the distant, in the far. I believe I'm going to say on the other end of the passage. This passage, I'm thinking, probably loops, like it angles, it turns to the right as I'm picturing it. It's not straight towards a gate or like a some escape hatch, but more like it kind of you can see light coming in. So we see. I'm going to say that we see flickering light. I'm going to say expecting someone. Okay. Was the Watcher aware he was being followed? He has a feeling he was being followed, but was he expecting anybody? I don't think he was expecting anybody. Was the Watcher expecting anybody? No. And I think at this point we hear whoever's coming down this hall. So he was not expecting anybody. And now we start to hear voices echoing through the passage. That makes sense. Now, these voices, let's get a detail on these voices. I'm going to say, what do these voices sound like? Humans, goblins, creatures, etc. Specialized. Okay. Oh, interesting. Specialized. Now, it did say foreshadow trouble, but it has to be an enemy. I think it's cultists. Okay, so it sounds like an opposing force, a group of, and then periods. Is it going to be? Is it some cultists? Is it a group of cultists? Yes. Okay, it is. All right. We see we spot. Let's say I'm gonna figure out how many cultists. Let's say we spot cultists, but how many of them? How many cultists? Less than. All right, three. All right. We only see three cultists. Now they're using this passage because they're familiar with this air with this temple, so they know all the in and outs, and they're going through. Now I don't think if they were carelessly walking through this passage, this tunnel, they probably are aware that there's trouble inside. But again, I think the cultists were mostly defeated by the Danger House goblins, so there's still some stragglers left to take care of, and these three that are now walking towards us were carelessly talking, holding up a lantern, speaking, thinking that they're the only people in this passage going towards the door, entry back into the temple. So That does work out in our favor. So they are chat chatting, unaware of our presence. This gives us a chance to um, maybe we hear them mentioning stuff about the cult, the Legion. We hear them talk about Dervish and others that we're familiar with, so we know they're cultists. Okay, now we're all going to hide. We are going to hide. Okay, is there a likely? I think is there a place to hide for all? There's four of us now. All four of us. Yes. Okay. There is. There is. Okay. Now, whoops. Didn't mean to do that. Now, what is this thing that we can hide behind? Let's see. Plot hook. Let's do generic. What can, what is it that we hide behind? Okay, is to create something large, about average. Okay, so it's something about the height of a person. So let's just say 6'2" or so, 5'10", 6 feet or so, and it has to be created. Well, who obviously can create stuff? That's the Watcher. He's obviously, I think he's experienced in magic. Probably not to the strength of Bruith was in the past, but I think he knows some magic. So I'm going to say that. Well, I should say how significant is average. It's a large, it's a large block, obviously. So Watcher quickly creates a magical barrier, or not a magical barrier, but creates a, let's say, I'm thinking if it's either a doorway or a perhaps a hole in the wall. Like I'm trying to think if he can like conjure up a large box or a crate that we can hide behind, or a couple of crates. No, I don't want him to. I don't think he would spawn a big brick wall in the middle of the passage, and then the. Oh, you know what? He creates an illusion. Okay, he creates an illusion. I like that. An illusion of a brick wall that closes, that seals off the passage to the doorway. Okay, great. I like that. It's an illusion. It's not an actual physical brick wall. Okay, so the three cultists approach, and what is their reaction to what action they take? Let's see. The cultists, the three cultists approach the illusion of the brick wall. How do they react? Deceive. Oh, okay. It deceives them. They're deceived. I'm trying to think of that perspective from us, from our point of view. They're deceived. They're a little confused. I think they're a little confused at first. So sorry, guys. Just lower my microphone just a bit more because I was very close to the red. Okay, so they were deceived. They can't. I didn't have to roll for the character for Watcher. That worked out. They can't see us and appear confused. Now, let's say, do they okay, they're confused. That's evident. Now, do they start talking? Let's see. Man, they're trying to find another way in. Are they confused? Or they went to the wrong passage? Or they know this is the way in? Let's see. What do they say? Allies. Ooh. Um, okay. I'm thinking that they're looking for others. So they are worried they won't find others I'm thinking that maybe they're looking for allies, but they're looking for survivors. Maybe they know that there's trouble in here, so they are actually on their way in to get help. So they won't find others inside, which there is a couple of dead bodies, so that's evident. And one knocked out one, and then one we left the armory. Well, the the guy, I think it was an elf that was in charge of the armory. We left him alive. Obviously, he was no threat to us. So they're worried they won't find others inside. So I think, are they panicking a bit? Let's say likely, are they panicking? Yes, but okay, they are panicking, if I'm spelling that right. But they think that they start to notice the illusion is wearing off. And we are weapons ready. So, okay, let me put that in there. So, but they notice, but that's what the but is. They notice the illusion is uh, withering away. What's their reaction to this? What is our group's reaction? At this point, I think I pretty much have control of the crew. So, what is their reaction to the illusion breaking? Communicate. Oh, they're like, who's there? Who could have done this? Just think of like Oblivion or something, or Skyrim. Who could have done this? What's that? Like they're just looking and they start shouting, uh maybe drawing. Okay, they start shouting, confused. Well, not confused. I think now they are uh asking who done this? Who done this? Who's there? So they were a little blindsided by this, but I don't think they were too concerned at the moment because they were more like worried about finding their comrades. So, are they cultist suit? Like, are they a threat? I'm gonna say, let's see, are they fighters? Let's figure that out. They could be worshippers like from before. No, but they are mages. Okay, so they are not fighters, but oh, you know that that's interesting. Let's go back. Let's go back quite a bit, actually. Whoops. I want to go back to episode 20. Corrections. No, that was my Into the Legion. This is before the corrections episode, the retcon. Dragon Above. It's when we enter the church and we were dealing with those worshippers. Um, let's see. Removing the stone dragon. Daedral stole from the temple, causing disruption. Kingdom just woke up. They don't see anybody. Misfit guard is dead. Dervish sighs. I sneak closer to the misfits, close to the guard. Sorry, guys. I'm just trying to find. Okay, the temple. We lost Sparky. I'm aware of that. Doors unlocked. Open slowly. Okay, here it is. Turn. Nobody inside the church. Failed to hear anything. Uh, we see 5 goblin worshippers. So it's the danger house. Okay, so they're not. They're not cultists. Wait, they are cultists of the Legion, so they're not goblins. So I can't use this ploy. I cannot use this idea I had where it was the worshippers when they're the goblins. But they okay. I'm gonna say they are magic users. So they are mages. So or magic. Let's say their own worshippers, or perhaps what do you call them? Let's see. We'll call them worshippers. Okay. So perhaps they conjure. Let's see. They conjure offensive spells in their hands. like fire, electricity, etc. Okay, is the mage going to do anything? Because now we're ready. So, possible encounter. Are we pretty close to them? Let's see. How close are we? Surprisingly lacking. We are not very close at all. We're pretty far. So, we are perhaps 15 feet away. I'm curious. I'm curious to see how the Watcher reacts. So, how does the Watcher react? We do have the protection spell. Don't forget. We do have the protection spell. Deceive. Okay, so he's going to deceive them. What can he do to deceive them? This is really interesting. Kind of a twist in my story because I was thinking of something else. But we do the protection spell. He deceives them. Oh, does he just cast another? Or you know what? He throws. No, he can't throw the lantern. The lantern's a protection spell on us. Oh, the protection spell is. This is really intriguing. I'm trying to figure out what to do here. He deceives them. Okay, the Watcher does. They don't see the. I don't think they see the Watcher. They don't see the Watcher initially. They are focused on us. So me and the two royalists. Unlikely. Do they see the Watcher after that moment? Ah, crap. They do. Okay. They also, but see the Watcher. I was thinking that they don't. They did deceive them for a moment, but then do they attack first? Let's see. Do we do they attack first? Yes, but we have the protection spell. Okay. They try they try to attack with their magic, but our protection spell blocks. Okay, good. So, we are in an encounter. And this is where I'm going to unfortunately end the episode for 30. So, a very brief episode. Again, I'm sorry, but this was just how things are right now for tonight. And but I did like how this went. I do like the one-page solo engine every so often, not too much, but it did help. Towards the end here, kind of the deceit part. I'm not a fan of this, but I have to keep rolling and have to keep going with it. But in any event, yeah, I'll copy those notes over to here. Nothing else changed for Bregler. We're still at 7 out of 12 for health. We are still right here. I'm thinking that, let's see, 150, zoom in. We're still here. I'm thinking we're on the very edge, east side of the temple. Character list, we added that thing about the Watcher. Quest list, let's see, encounter with some cultist worshippers. Is it cultists? I don't think I have to put. I don't think it is, actually. Oh, it is. Okay. Cultist worshippers. But that's the plural part. All right. There we go. And nothing else for. Oh, yeah. The land of Bethermule. That's the world name. So, yeah, there we go, guys. That's it for this episode. This was 30. And I'm going to call it the Watcher's Return. And we'll see you next time for 830 RPG in the Misfortune series. Thank you for watching.